just wanted to show you what it takes to grow mangoes in the Central Valley. So mangoes are a bit picky in that, you know, they could be doing great for years and years, and then you wake up one morning and it just goes downhill. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just very, very dramatic. That's been my experience anyway. But before I do that, I wanted to show you, this is the beginning of March, and this is what's happening with a lot of the mangoes. They are flowering or starting to bud off flowers anyway. You see the top, that's the formation of a flower bract. So just to show you some of the mangoes I have in the yard, you know, so far these mangoes I've had great successes with growing in the Central Valley. A lot of them are in containers, just because I literally am out of space, but I do have several that are also in the ground. So here's a I believe this is a this is a Quezon mango, Lancetilla. Van Dyke mango, Propagating, also known as a lemon meringue, and here's an Alfonso. Moving back here, this is the more common Tamiyak, and this is something that you normally see in the grocery stores. I believe this is a Malika mango. And of course, these two guys here are Nam Dok mice, native to Thailand. And this mango back here also, this one, is a Keo Savoy, which I recently learned when translated from Thai to English means green eats, or eating it green, which makes a lot of sense because the Keo Savoy, you almost always eat it green. It's very aromatic and very crunchy and refreshing. Moving on, I believe this is a lemon zest, combination of the Poppy Calais and I want to say a hated mango. Florigon, ice cream mango. So before I go on to the other ones, if you notice on a lot of these, actually all the mangoes, see how it's all white like this? I actually painted these mangoes just last week. The reason why I'm doing that is mangoes, as they mature, they don't have a bark yet. So the new limbs, the branches, they get burned easily. And I mean, again, this is this is the beginning of March. And you know, the highest that we've got to was like 75 degrees. But I did see some stress on the mangoes already from just the sun exposure. I'll show you in a little bit. I've got a bit more obvious sign of some sun damage. But as a precaution, I went ahead and painted all the mangoes. The paint that I use, it's not a paint. It's more of an agricultural paint. The product I use is from Ivy Organics. I've had great success with it. It's basically just powderized mica, limestone, and a bunch of other rock that has been powderized and reapplied as paint once you mix it with water. But again, I've just had great success with it, so I've been using it. Yeah, again, you know, some mangoes do bloom and fruit earlier than others. Nam Dok mice, of course. But yeah, I mean, this is fruiting season for mango. So if you see, it's quite windy right now, which is perfect for mangoes, because by having it windy like this, it eliminates a lot of powdery mildew threats. Mangoes are very susceptible to, in the spring and fall seasons, they're very susceptible to powdery mildew, which is an attack of a certain fungus. And also, at the same time, they're also very susceptible to anthracnose. It's typically not quite near fatal, but it can be fatal to the trees. But anthracnose is also another common issue with mangoes, where it gets attacked by a certain fungus that basically causes the mango to just slowly go downhill. But a lot of the mangoes that you see here, though, a lot of these I had great success with, in the sense that a lot of these are quite disease tolerant, for disease resistant. For example, Namdok Mais, Kyo Savoy back here. Many of the Asian variety mangoes are very resistant to anthracnose, though they may have issues with powdery mildew. And in that case, what I should have done earlier, maybe in February, what I should have really done is spray all the mangoes with a nice coat of sulfur and possibly copper. Doing so helps against powdery mildew and also anthracnose issues. But now that they've basically begin flowering, I really can't do that, because the second I do that, I'm gonna lose all the fruits. So specific to powdery mildew, what I'm gonna do is, if I see signs of it, is just take a garden hose and just kind of hose it off. I mean, when it rains, oftentimes it just simply washes the fungal spores just down to the ground, where you've got other bigger insects and microbes that kill those fungus. So yeah, I mean, if I see signs of it, I'm just gonna wash it off. So that's a quick and easy fix. But anyhow, going down the mangoes, the ones that I have in the ground, of course, Manila does really well. Had great success with. A lot of new growth here. Very minimal frost damage. Moving on. So this is what I mean by mangoes being challenging. Is you wake up, you give it the best protection, you give it the best feeding, everything goes great for years and years and years, and then you wake up and it just goes downhill. This is what I mean by that. See this branch? I mean, the rest of the tree looks great. I don't see any signs of any fungal issues. In fact, I see new buds coming out. I mean, as you can see, the other branches are coming out. It's basically waking up. But then you get this one right here. It's like, yeah, it just happens. I mean, I've yet to decipher the language of mangoes. Unlike the other tropicals, where it's a bit more consistent in what it tells you. When you observe it, you're able to deduce what issues are with that particular tree. Mangoes, it's kind of all over the place. So in this case, I'm just gonna chop this branch off, but everything else looks fine. So yeah, this is a Valencia Pride. If you look at the branch, this actually was from last year. We painted it from a year ago. And the new limbs, without the paint, this is all brand new growth. So yeah, so Valencia Pride. Moving down here, because we had great success with Manila, we decided to plant some more here. All of the Manilas that we've gotten, I'm not sure, I've not done a whole lot of research into it, but a lot of the Manila seems to be just grown from seeds. I've yet to find a grafted one. I'm sure they exist, but a lot of them seems to be just grown from seed, which isn't a bad thing, just because when you look at the trees that are grown from seed, see how the leaves just kind of is able to shade a lot of the branches. I mean, this side I don't really even paint it at all. The side that I paint gets the most sun exposure. But yeah, Manila mango. And we've got a Kent mango here. Similar to the Tommy Atkins, a Kent mango is also normally what you would find in your typical grocery store. This one is a grafted variety. it's doing awesome. Bunch of new growth. So yeah, I've also had great success with Kent mangoes, though a lot of them are grown from seeds. So I know from experience that they should do okay in the Central Valley. Kent mango. And I will now take you to the front where I've got a few more mangoes. Before taking you to the front, I actually completely forgot about this guy. I mean, like I said, I do have a number of mangoes here. This is another Manila. Just like this guy. I mean, Manilas are actually quite fast grower. When we planted it in the ground, it was about this high or so. You know, this year alone, I mean, as you can see, it's grown quite a bit. So let me show you how easy it is to really propagate mango trees from seeds. I mean, they propagate easily. I mean, and you know, this is in my greenhouse, taking full day sun without issues. In fact, let me see if I can show you some of the insides. Yeah, see that guy right there? He is going about little, maybe 6 months old. But yeah, they do really well when grown from seed. So I will now take you to the front. So here's the front. Got another newly planted Kent mango here. So this is what I mean by it is a bit sun sensitive when it comes to the young ones anyway. Particularly the new leaves. See this? This is all sunburn. Granted, this is, you know, in the south side, it's getting mostly all day sun. And you know, after seeing it getting burnt like this, and again, I mean, we're in the 70s. So you know, I've got this little I want to say this is a galenga, hopefully giving it some shade. So it should do nicely. And again, as always, you know, I've got the whole branch painted. So that's a Kent mango. In this section, there existed a jamun tree which we took out, and actually was we were then able to give it a good home to a local viewer. But in its place, planted another Manila. I mean, these guys do really well in the Central Valley, so should do nicely there. And you know, of course, you know, unrelated, but Kahala longan. And lastly, very proud of this guy, coriander mango. No frost damage whatsoever. I mean, this guy is flowering, of course, but yeah, I mean, I'm seeing no disease issues at all with this particular guy. You know, no sun damage. So eventually, they will, just like other tropical trees, they will acclimate themselves. But anyhow, yeah, just oh, and almost forgot actually. Let me see. Got a seedling mango back here. I'm pretty sure this guy is a Keith mango. But yeah, I mean, planted from seed. It's gonna be. It's second year in the ground, so it's gonna be maybe 3-4 more years before it starts giving us any fruits. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, when you look at it when it's young, you know, it is. We've got it heavily shaded. Going back to this Kent mango here, there's actually a reason why we have it here. So right now, there's not a whole lot of shade, but in the next few weeks, you've got this sugarcane jujube that's going to be providing it with a lot of shade come at about noon or so. And also this Japanese maple will also be giving it a lot of shade. So this guy should be nice and protected from the sun. So anyhow, yeah, that's it. All right, have a good afternoon.